It is 2:47 in the morning. You are wide awake, staring at the ceiling, with your phone already in your hand. The house is silent. Everyone else seems to be asleep. Tomorrow is full of things to do, and every minute you stay awake feels like a minute you will have to pay for later. Then a quiet thought appears. A healthy person would be asleep right now. So what is wrong with you? But what if that question is the real problem? Because waking in the middle of the night is not new. Humans have been doing it for a very long time. The strange part may not be that you wake up. The strange part may be that modern life taught you to panic when you do. For most of human history, people did not expect sleep to behave like a perfect machine. They did not always lie down, disappear for 8 hours, and wake up exactly when the day began. Historian A. Roger Kirch spent years studying old diaries, court records, medical books, and letters from Europe before electric lighting. He found more than 1,000 references to something people rarely talk about today. First sleep and second sleep. People often went to bed a few hours after sunset. They slept for several hours, woke up in the middle of the night, stayed awake for a while, and then returned to sleep until morning. And what did they do during that quiet hour? They talked. They prayed. They checked the fire. They cared for children or animals. Some wrote. Some visited a neighbor. Some simply rested in the dark until sleep returned. They did not automatically treat that wakeful period as a medical emergency. It even appeared in writings from ancient Greece and Rome. It only began to fade as cities added streetlights. Homes became brighter, and the nights slowly turned into extra daytime. But historical records are only one clue. In the early 1990s, psychiatrist Thomas placed healthy volunteers in darkness for 14 hours each night. There are no phones, no television, and very little to do except rest. After several weeks, something unexpected happened. Their sleep naturally divided into two parts. They slept for a few hours, woke for a calm period in the middle, and then slept again. So perhaps the question is not, why does your body sometimes wake at night? Perhaps the better question is, why did modern culture decide that waking at night must mean something has gone wrong? There's another clue, and it comes from people who still live much closer to the conditions humans knew for most of history. Anthropologist David Sampson and his team studied sleep among the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer community in Tanzania. For 20 nights, adults wore small trackers that recorded when they were asleep and awake. Across the whole study, every person in camp was asleep at the same time for only 18 minutes. 18 minutes. For almost the entire night, someone was awake, moving, shifting position, listening, or sleeping lightly. Think about what that meant in a world without locked doors, bright streets, or alarm systems. There were fires to watch, babies to hear, weather to notice, predators to detect. If one person woke while everyone else slept, that person was not failing at sleep. Of you at that 3 a.m. The one who notices every sound in the house, maybe running an ancient program that once helped a group survive. Your bedroom is safer now. Your brain may not fully know that. Researchers have also studied traditional communities without electric lighting, including the Hadza, the San of Namibia, and the Tsimane of Bolivia. Their sleep was not perfect, and it was not always longer than modern sleep. Most slept around 6.5 to 7 hours a night. They did not fall asleep the moment the sun disappeared. They often stayed awake for several hours after sunset and went to sleep as the temperature dropped. That matters because your body does not respond only to darkness. It also responds to temperature, movement, routine, and the feeling of safety. And here is one of the strangest findings. In 2 of the 3 languages researchers studied, there was no clear, everyday word for insomnia. People still woke up. People still had short nights. But they did not always turn those experiences into a personal failure. So what changed? Not the basic human body, the world around it. Imagine waking in an ancient camp. The fire is low. Someone nearby is breathing. An older person is already awake. You hear a branch move in the distance, but you also know you are not alone. There is no glowing clock telling you that it is 2:47. There is no meeting on your calendar waiting to punish you tomorrow. There is no sleep app ready to give you a bad score in the morning. You are awake, but you're not judging yourself for being awake. You open your eyes and immediately check the time. 2:47. Then you calculate how many hours are left. Then you think about tomorrow. Then you search, why do I keep waking up at night? Then the screen shines into your eyes, your brain becomes more alert, and the problem grows. This is where a normal wake-up can turn into a long night. Body clock researcher Charles Cheesler has spent decades studying how light changes sleep timing. Bright, blue-toned light from phones and screens can delay the signal that tells your body night has arrived. Firelight is warm and dim. A phone is bright and close to your face. Your ancestors woke beside a fading fire. You wake beside a device designed to keep your attention. The waking is old. The glowing screen is not. But light is only part of the problem. Modern tiredness is also different from ancient tiredness. Ancient humans used their bodies all day. They walked, carried, climbed, gathered, built, and adapted to heat and cold. Their bodies were physically tired. You could spend an entire day sitting still and still feel exhausted. Your body may be underused while your attention is completely drained. You answer messages, switch tasks, watch notifications, think about unfinished work. Carry tomorrow inside your head before today is even over. By bedtime, your mind is tired, but your nervous system is still alert. You feel exhausted, but not rarely notice. For most of history, sleep was social. People slept near family, children, elders, and other members of the group. They heard familiar breathing and movement. Even when the night was dangerous, they were not facing it alone. Today, many people spend the evening looking at hundreds of faces on a screen, then wake in a completely silent room with no one to talk to. That changes the emotional meaning of the night. Your body may not be afraid of darkness itself. It may be reacting to uncertainty, isolation, and the feeling that everything depends on you being ready tomorrow. This is why being awake is one thing, but panicking about being awake is another. The first is a physical state. The second is a story. I will be useless tomorrow. Something is wrong with me. I have to fix this now. Those thoughts make the brain more alert. The more urgently you chase sleep, the harder sleep becomes to catch. That creates a loop. You wake up. You worry. You check the time. You look at the screen. You become more awake. Then you worry even more. Ancient humans may not have slept perfectly, but they did not have a glowing clock, a search engine, and a culture of perfect performance turning every wake-up into evidence against them. That does not mean every sleep problem should be ignored. Chronic insomnia is real. Sleep apnea is real. Pain, anxiety, medication, hormonal changes, and shift work can all disturb sleep. If waking at night is frequent, severe, or affecting your daily life, it deserves proper attention. But an occasional wake-up does not automatically mean you are broken. It may simply mean your sleep is more human with that modern ideal allows. First, stop treating the clock like a judge. Knowing the exact time rarely helps. It usually gives your brain another problem to solve. Second, keep the night dark. If you need light, make it low and warm. Try not to turn a normal wake-up into a bright daytime event. Third, do not force sleep like a task. Rest quietly. Breathe. Read something calm in dim light, if that helps. Let your body feel that nothing urgent is happening. The goal is not to perform sleep perfectly. The goal is to stop teaching your brain that the bed is a battleground. Ancient humans did not have blackout curtains, sleep trackers, white noise machines, or 10-step evening routines. They had darkness. They had fire. They had other people nearby. And they had no reason to believe that every moment awake was a mistake. So the next time it is 2:47 in the morning and you're staring at the ceiling, remember what may actually be happening. Your body is not necessarily malfunctioning. It may be doing something humans have done for thousands of years. The waking is ancient. The panic is modern. And maybe you are not broken at all. Maybe you are simply human in the dark.